tears, you know. And then I asked, why are you crying? Right? You know, the one thing that that, that made me sad.
I think at some point, if I recall, I even said it's gonna be like you're a pimp. I don't know if that was my mind or it's the first time that we're hearing it as well.
Yeah, it's the first time I'm
But
hearing it. So yeah,
so maybe it was in
so
my
yeah,
mind.
yeah,
But that's how I felt.
yeah, but
Welcome to Young and Married Podcast Conversations with myself, Wendy Matsibele. Welcome to episode 5. Today I am joined by a very special person that looks very nervous. That's my husband, Sipo Matsibele. Welcome to my show.
thank you. It feels odd being in front of the screen. I'm
Yeah.
always behind the scenes,
Yeah.
doing the recording, but yeah, today I'm in front of the screen.
Mm. So I don't even know where to start because this is gonna be a raw conversation between my husband and I. So just for the viewers, whatever that we're gonna discuss was not prepared. It's gonna be first time both of us will hear whatever that we'll talk about. So there's nothing that has been rehearsed. I just want to put that disclaimer out. And therefore, I didn't really prepare for this conversation, right?
Yes, there was no way she could prepare. So since she has a show, Young and Married Podcast Conversations with Wendy, so I thought, since I have an issue to iron out,
Oh, so are we getting there?
so I have an issue to iron out. I thought maybe other couples can learn from this, or we could probably learn from the viewers when they advise and act as a mediator, as the middle person, which will help because sometimes we think from our own point of view without really seeing what the next person is actually going through, or it's very difficult to understand from another person's perspective. So since I have the issue, should I go ahead and start the conversation and let it roll?
I don't know if we should soma. So, guys, I'm gonna be getting bombshells today. But I don't know if we should soma address the issue that I don't know what it is. Or do we owe viewers our background in terms of how we met, how long we've been together? Because I think that might be relevant for the viewers to understand how long we've been together and how does that relate to the issue that we have, if that makes sense. I don't even know what the issue is about, but it wouldn't be ideal for people that have been together for 6 months, for example, to address an issue national. They don't even know that they're gonna be together still 10 years from now, things like that. So we've been together for
Check it like
14 years, right? A beautiful 14 years, and we're still gonna continue.
yes,
This is when you agree.
Yes, yes, yeah.
We've
long
been
time
married
still.
for 5 years. We've got 2 beautiful daughters. One is 10 years and one is turning 5 months next week. And I must say that, I've got a very special marriage. I must say, like, you're a very supportive husband. Sometimes I think I love you too much because then I get jealous, and maybe that's those are the things that we're gonna talk about today. But I'm overprotective of my love for you, if you know what I mean. So it's been a beautiful journey together,
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah, from my side, I think I don't want us to dwell too much on. We might even lose
the
focus
point
of the main thing. I think episode for that,
will come.
yeah, can still come.
Okay.
So you mentioned support,
Mm.
right? About support. So this whole conversation is about support.
Oh, okay.
Today's conversation is about support. Yes,
Okay.
you are very supportive, um, supportive wife.
Mm.
But sometimes I think, like when you put emotions first,
Mm.
there's a chance of destroying. You know,
Mm.
I don't really like to say things very raw, but for this conversation, I'm gonna say it raw.
Mm.
But like how I feel about you, right? This is the time you say yes. So, like, I feel my wife is very supportive, uh, but there's instances where I feel when you let your emotions take over,
Just bring your mic closer. Sorry.
when you let your emotions take over, then there's a possibility of distraction.
Mm.
I've never spoken about this before.
To
Um,
me.
yes, but it's a
Okay.
feeling that has been there over a long time. That
Mm.
I'm going to put it like a bombshell, right?
Yeah, just like it is.
If yeah, if I had listened to my wife
Mm.
all the time,
Mm.
I don't think we'll be at the financial status that we are in now. I think maybe we'll be a little bit poorer, or maybe much more poorer than
No, I agree. It's not a
than.
bombshell to me.
Oh, okay. She knows that.
Yeah.
So I don't even have to name
You
like
can
which
name,
instances.
but I know I can name them for you.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Starting with a saloon that I was not very,
Yo, my wife is so. You are spot on. Yes.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yes.
that I was not so supportive of.
Okay.
Um, and yes, you're right by saying that I do put emotions first.
Okay.
Like I do. I'm very much self-aware of that.
Okay.
And honestly, I think I'm at a point in my life that I am trying to work on it. Whether it's I'm at 10% or 20%, I don't know, but it's something that I'm self-aware of, and I'm trying to work on it intentionally. So one was the saloon. When I
Yes.
think back then, you wanted to venture into the saloon business. I remember when you started the journey, I supported you. We went to China Mall, so you think, to buy the salon chairs and whatnot, whatnot. Um, and I think because of my emotions and because of your love for the things that you venture in, like the two just become opposite things. And what do I mean? You invest a lot of time in what you venture in, and you have to. If at this moment in time, you have to, right? Back then, it's not something that I would have said you have to. And I had felt it's my time that was being taken away, because my husband would then come back late at night during the week because there's clients at the saloon. Weekends, you would not be available because you're at the saloon. And I think my support was bad to an extent that you had to close down the saloon. And I think it actually closed down because of me. Honestly, that's what I think. That's my viewpoint. Because if I had been supportive enough, I think you would have flourished in that space. There's other factors that you can mention. I'm just talking from my emotional perspective that you mentioned. So I didn't give you the opportunity to be flexible and to explore in terms of, what could that look like for you from a business perspective.
Yes. You're spot on. From my side, that's the first one, and you started. at the right time. That's the first
Yeah.
example that we can say,
Yeah.
that we can mention, where I listened to my wife and
Yeah.
things did not go well.
Mm.
So and back then, I think that experience was actually necessary for me, because
Mm.
back then I was only studying in business. I didn't know
Mm.
how to put in controls that you are able to be away from your business, and for your business
100%. Yeah.
to still be able to continue.
Mm. Mm.
And myself, detaching myself from the salon actually
Mm.
collapsed the
But that
salon.
was because of me. Hence, I said, if
Y-
it wasn't that, that's my view.
yes, but it's also up to me. It's
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a responsibility, whether to listen to my wife
That's true.
or force ahead. Like we
That's
have
true.
other examples that
Yeah. Yeah.
that
Yeah.
will still follow.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think you, because you named the first one,
The second one.
I know the second and the third.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I know the second and the third.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but
Yeah.
I think I want us to go through them.
Okay.
Yeah. So now the salon failed,
Yeah.
but not only because of you. I was young. I didn't know how to put in controls
Mm.
to make the business able to function,
Mm.
even if I am not present.
Okay.
And since you know,
Second one.
I'm gonna give it to you to mention the second one.
The second one, so we used to stay in Mamelodi. And when I met my husband, he was actually having tenants, right? So you were
Yes.
renting out the rooms, the boys' rooms outside. And when we moved out to Orchards, you wanted to turn the house into a guest house, right? And I was so against it, like proper against it.
And you
A-
had your reasons, ne?
yeah, and I was, I don't think that time, the second one now, I don't think the second one was emotions. And I say that in terms of like, did I think like my time will be taken away? Like I won't get time to spend with you and things. I don't think it was that. I think for me was the bone of the business, like the structure in terms of it's gonna be hours, 1 hour, 2 hours, and whatnot. And in my mind, I was thinking of a whole lot of things, like you're exposing us to I'll call it what it is,
Yes.
prostitution, and yeah, that didn't sit well with me that we're gonna be doing such an operation. I think at some point, if I recall, I even said it's gonna be like you're a pimp. I don't know if that was my mind or it's the first time that we're hearing it as well.
Yeah, it's the first time I'm
But
hearing it. So yeah.
so maybe it was in
So
my
yeah,
mind. But that's how I felt.
yeah, but back then, the reasons you gave, maybe you were just being mindful
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
and not wanting to be like forward and putting it
Yeah,
like
like I
you
am
are
now.
now.
Yeah.
So, but back then you mentioned that we are moving away from a stable income, which
Ah,
which tenants like paid at the end of the month.
I
They paid a fee
remember.
at the end of each month.
Yeah.
So, and going into an unknown, something
Yeah.
that we don't know
So
how
my
it's
reasoning
going
made
to.
sense though.
Yeah, it makes
To
sense
start
to a
to
point.
it, yeah,
Yeah,
to a certain level.
yeah, but just to get in there, I didn't listen to my wife,
No, you
and yeah,
didn't.
and the business is still alive today. We've got 3 guest houses.
Yeah.
Mamelodi, we've extended to Orchards, and then we extended
Pretoria West.
to Pretoria West, and we bought
3 apartments.
three apartments for Airbnb. So that business is doing well. So that's the first
Well
time
done for not listening to me. I give it to you.
so that's the first time I took a stance and chose not to listen to my wife.
Yeah.
And yeah, I chose to go ahead with it, and then luckily it worked out. I don't know if if it didn't work out, how our relationship would have turned out. But that was the second conversation. That was the second part where I felt that initially my wife didn't give me support.
Yeah. No, I'm very much
Yeah.
aware.
And then we over it.
Yeah.
By the way, when she realized that uh, like I was doing well in the guest house, she offered the house that she bought in the orchards for us to, when we bought this house that we had,
Mm.
to convert that one into a guest house as well. So I can't say my wife is not supportive at all. She is supportive, but sometimes yeah, it gets in there. So we go to the the third one.
So there's three.
There's three, there's four. There's three, there's four.
Not sure of the.
The third one.
Yeah, I don't know what's the third one. The fourth one is the current.
Yeah, the fourth one
If
is
there is four.
the fourth one is
I
the
don't know
current.
what's the third one.
Okay, I'm gonna introduce the third one. The third one was me retiring early.
Oh yeah, I thought of that. I wanted to say that.
Yeah.
You leaving work,
Yeah, that's
resigning.
the one. But yeah, I have to say, my wife was very responsible.
Yeah.
In terms of how she handled
Mm.
that part.
Mm.
Do you want to tell them how you handled it, or should I?
How did I? I don't know. Maybe just
Oh,
remind me.
Okay, you don't take me seriously. That's why I see. So, my wife gave me targets.
Yeah.
She says, okay, if you make this much, then you can stop working. And then I remember saying, okay, that's a piece of
And
cake.
you listened to me that time.
I listened to her that time.
You
And
chose to
then
listen.
I smashed the target because I knew I could do it, right? And then she pushed it up, right?
Yeah.
She pushed it up. If you make this much again, then you can quit.
Mm.
And then I made that, and she said no. And then I decided not to listen to her anymore because she'll keep on shifting the bar. And that decision again, not listening to my wife, like it worked out fine. Now I'm how many years?
4 years.
4 years, ne? 2020.
I think you resigned 2021.
Yeah,
So
2021.
2, 3, 4. Oh, it's 3 years.
Yeah.
You're gonna be 4 in a few months.
Yeah, I'll be 4 years. Like, a house husband.
Yes. Which was the, I must say, Sipo, like, it was the best decision. It may not have been the best back then because in my mind, a whole lot of things was like I was going through a lot. What if the business fails? What are we going to do with just one income? And I don't earn a lot. So Ninga try
she does.
I don't earn a lot.
She does.
I earn peanuts.
She earns a lot.
But in my mind, I was thinking, how are we gonna survive with one salary if something happens to this business? This man has resigned. This man has taken his entire pension fund and literally invested into a new guest house. So a lot of financial chaos, if I should put it that way, was just going through my mind. But I think the matured individual that you are, the good decision maker that you are, carried you.
Yeah.
So
just to add on to the viewers, so that they see that I was aware that I have a family and I have a responsibility to take care of my family, whether my wife works or not. Like, I need to take care of business. Like my guys, my wife's money is her own pocket.
No, don't tell people that.
Yeah. And she has a lot of salary.
I don't.
So yeah, the precautions that I took just to test whether I'll be able to self-sustain and sustain my family, even when I don't work anymore. I took the decision a year earlier before I retired. Right? And then I said to myself, I'm going to pay myself a salary, and I'm not going to use the salary that I
Mm.
get paid. So for a full 12 months, I was paying myself from
Business
the business, just to check if the business can
sustain
ab,
itself.
yeah, sustain itself, even paying the director
Okay, yeah, yeah.
a salary. So I was more than convinced that I'm comfortable. And one other test, the biggest test
Mm.
for the business was COVID. Our business
That's
flourished
true. Yeah.
even in COVID,
Yeah. Yeah.
even during COVID.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay. I
Yeah.
think we've said a mouthful about that one. And
Woo. Now
now
it's
we the
war.
current. Yeah. Now we in the current. But
But I'm very supportive though of the current.
yeah. Uh, yeah. So just to give a little bit of background and perspective as to what is happening with the current is, so I'm almost like a pilot, but I don't fly every day.
Feels like.
So um, I have an event every Saturday.
Yes.
If it's local, it just means the whole day, the whole Saturday. It will be me recording whichever event
Yeah.
we are at. And if it's in Polokwane, it's like, I try even just
To
to
drive.
drive there and back, because I know how sensitive my wife is. It's very strenuous. Like to drive
Mm.
early in the morning, and after a full day of work, like, have to travel back. But because I know my wife is very sensitive, like she'll be asking, how far is it? Like,
Mm.
um, what time are you going to leave? What time are you finishing there?
Mm.
So that, like, if you say you are leaving on a Friday and coming back on a Sunday, like, it feels like you're unreasonable, because it's just 2 hours away, or it's just three
I'm
hours
with you.
away,
Yeah. Yeah.
something
And that's
like that.
actually my yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So if it's in Polokwane, if it's in Mpumalanga, I drive in and out. But there's some places, like, where I have to sleep over, like when it's Cape Town, when
Durban,
it's
PE,
Durban, when it's
Kimberley,
PE, when it's Kimberley.
anywhere far where
Recently,
you have to fly
yeah, recently I went to Nigeria.
and left us.
Yeah, and
I'm joking.
the one thing I haven't told you,
Mm.
like what made me sad
Are you
this
gonna cry
weekend.
now?
Yeah, what made me sad, uh, you know, it becomes very difficult for me to tell you things in advance, right? Oh, because, like, I know how you feel, and, like, it's gonna feel like, I don't know. It's like I'm being unfair. The way you respond is like I'm being unfair for expecting myself to, like, go to, like, places where I have to get to, you know. So sometimes, hey, I give the information when it's absolutely necessary. So it makes it difficult for me to communicate, like, my plannings in advance, because I don't know how to approach it, because I already know how you feel about it. Ne? Yes, I was working around that, but, like, what made me said this weekend, ne?
The past week. Oh yeah, the
The
weekend.
past weekend, is that, like, when we landed from Nigeria, that I was not able to come home. I was supposed to go straight to Nigeria, and you said you're literally crying, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, but I'm away. I'm away from home, and you tell me you are crying. It's not something that I see, but you make sure that I know that you are crying, and it's because of this,
Mm.
And then I asked, why are you crying? Right? The one thing that that made me sad. sorry. You said being a single parent is hard. Yo, that's the one thing that made me sad. Like you said, being a single parent is hard. Like I try. I try. I try. Like even if we are at local events, I try and come back home like as fast as possible. Cause I know I left you with the kids. I don't go to after parties, and like I'm there for my kids like every day, every day. But just because I went on a trip, and then you say it's hard being a single parent. It's like you a single parent how? Because
Yeah.
like I'm there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Sure, my love.
Yeah, but I'm over it, and I think we. Yeah, but I just thought, like, I must just bring it to light so that you know how I feel.
Mm.
Like, I know it's hard. I know it's hard, but it shouldn't be difficult for me uh, to express myself because, like, I know you're very resist. You resist the traveling part. Like I should not do it, and just to say, like it's a business to me.
Yes.
Yeah, and I don't want to make comparisons, right? But you were away on a business trip once,
Mm. Mm.
and I was left with Busi.
Mm.
I think it was longer than a week. It was 2 weeks or 3 weeks even.
No, no, no. You mean when I was pregnant?
Or when you were in the USA.
Oh, it was a week. It was
Yeah,
1 week.
you traveled to the USA.
Mm-mm.
And like I had to take
Yeah.
a mother responsibilities. Like I believe like me and you are a team,
Mm.
and when one is not there,
Mm.
the other one should stand in for
Mm.
the other one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think when I said it as well, I think it was unfiltered. It's really, I didn't, and most of the times I just say things unfiltered. Like I don't have a process. I just, but really when I said it, it was not the way you received it. That was not the intention. Really, it was not the intention. And when I was saying it as well, it was not a matter of, in my mind, I was going through I'm always with the kids on weekend or whatnot. It was not even that. So there was really no thinking process to it. But it didn't land well with you. And honestly, I sort of knew that's why you were angry. I sort of knew because I was actually talking to someone and they were asking me when is Tipo coming back, I'm like, no, I don't know because he's not talking to me. And then this person asked, I'm like, I don't know. If I'm thinking of the conversation, I can say exclusipogas. So I'm like, when I think of the conversation, I mentioned to him that being a single parent is hard. And this was like a conversation with Sipogazi on Sunday, I think. When did you come back? Yesterday.
Yeah.
It was on Sunday. And I said to Sipogazi, I mentioned to him that being a single parent is hard, you know. And she gave me like a lot of advice, I must say. And I think that's why now I'm not really emotional about it because I dealt with what I said and I shouldn't have said it, if you know what I mean. And she was actually saying, and I've told you before, and she said it again, that Sipo is a like Ugbi's are forever present. I think I've told you because that's That's how you are. Like, you are literally forever present in terms of the kids. And I was also reminded by the fact that you, on a daily basis, allow me to go to gym. It's not anyone, and it's not any husband that can allow that. I leave you with the two kids, and I go to the gym because you allow me to. And you are okay with it, and you don't even complain. Like, you don't say, "Hey, why you share whatnot?" Like, I do that. I was also reminded to when they remember next year you're traveling, because I'm gonna be traveling a lot next year in terms of visiting the stores and whatnot. And the third one was umsebenzi wasipho lo. Like, he's actually at work. So why are you complaining about him being at work and it's not leisure? You're not traveling for leisure. So I just want to put it out there that yes, I don't like the traveling. I don't like the traveling. But it's your job. Like, it's really your job. And I know that there are times that I get emotional about it. I'm aware. Not sure if I am working on it, but I'm aware of that. But I just wish that you can communicate better, because I feel it, and maybe to your point, that you're not comfortable to open up to say love 1 2 3 4 5 because you know how I'm gonna react. I just hope that post this conversation that we're having now, you'll be able, like, to open up more
I can throw two
in
bombs now. Boo, boo,
terms.
boo.
You can throw them because we're having
Yeah.
it's a normal conversation.
Yeah. The ones that are confirmed,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, now you're throwing bombs.
Yeah, from I do King of Squad.
Yeah.
I record King of Squad.
Yeah.
So we're going to Cameroon.
Yeah. Samba
Uh,
now.
no, you can't. It's
Yeah,
not
lad.
possible.
Yeah, lad.
Yeah, on 14,
Of what?
which is bad.
14th
14
what?
December.
You see now. You see what I mean?
Yes. And then Swaziland,
When is that?
the crossover. It's like,
What? Crossover is in 31st of December.
yeah, it's in the crossover. That, yeah, but me and you can talk about that offline. We can talk about those
Yeah.
offline.
But
Yeah.
honestly, love, like, sure, like, I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
yeah.
really sorry. And I know that you move. Yeah. Like, you've got a forgiving heart, and you move past things very quickly. Um and I'm sure this conversation was not even easy for you. All right.
No, it was easy because
Was
I'm not
it?
angry. Because I'm not angry. Um, like just to put it into perspective, my wife is a beautiful wife. Like, if I can choose again, I'll choose her over and over again. Like, she's a good wife. I don't have complaints that other men have. My wife is also forever present, and yeah, we share a lot of ideas, and like we understand each other. We understand each other. So this doesn't mean that like, I don't love my wife, or like I'm angry. I'm not angry. Like, I didn't want to bring up the conversation when we are far apart, because when you don't see the other person, you don't see the state that they are in.
Yeah.
So it's better when we talk when we are next to each other. And I'm glad we could have this conversation, and there's no drama or anything like that, or one is not talking to the other. But yeah, like, I was past it even before the conversation. But yeah, I'm glad we we had the conversation. I think we should close now.
Mm. Interesting. I think we must have. I wonder how long was this. We must have more of these. It
Yeah,
can be a different
if
topic
if you have
every time.
something, if you have something, Benny, and you want to say, I think we put it on camera.
Hi, boo.
Yeah, I think maybe a camera calms you down. I just joking. My wife is calm. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it was an interesting conversation. We would really appreciate it if we can get comments in terms of how we can deal with, maybe there's a different way of I can deal with the issues better. Maybe there's a different way that my husband can communicate better. Please do leave us with your advices, and we'll look at them and take ones that will suit us, right? But thank you so much for watching. This is the end of mini episode 5 with the lovely couple, Mr. and Mrs. Matsibele. Thank you so much for watching Young and Married Podcast Conversations episode 5. We'll see you on the next one. Cheers.
Peace, lots
Nice
and
one.
love from me and my loving wife.